Okay, we're on lesson 129. Okay, we're on lesson 129. Beyond this world, there is a world I want. And I thought a nice shape for taking in this beautiful lesson would be simply having your legs up on the wall. And if you have a block, these 3-inch foam blocks are super nice for this. Rest your head on a block or something soft and similar. Have your arms down by your side, palms up. We give our body over to gravity. We sink into gravity, we close the eyes, and we allow our heart and our mind to open up to spirit. What a beautiful practice. And then as I share the lesson for today and make a few comments on it, you can play with simply rolling your head on the foam block, rolling it and sustaining the turn. In this case, chin toward the left shoulder. And I sustain it. I feel a little engagement of the musculature. I feel the resistance. And you hold that shape for a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then you roll to the other side. And you can have this movement intermittent. Maybe you rest with your head centered periodically. Just let the words come through. Let your heart and mind continue to open up. Yeah, that's the yoga. That's the practice. All right. Beyond this world, there is a world I want. This is the thought that follows from the one we practiced yesterday, of course. You cannot stop with the idea the world is worthless, for unless you see that there is something else to hope for, you will only be depressed. Yeah, if we just stopped with the last lesson, the world I see holds nothing that I want, it would be depressing. We don't want to just stop there. We want to open our hearts and minds to the truth that there is a world we do want. Our emphasis is not on giving up the world, but on exchanging it for what is far more satisfying, filled with joy, and capable of offering you peace. Think you this world can offer that to you? It might be worth a little time to think once more about the value of this world. Okay, so Jesus has a way of really driving that home. It's just being as kind as he possibly can to just keep reminding us this is not a happy place. It's a death wish, if we get right down to it, the desire to be outside the kingdom of heaven, the desire to live a life a seeming life in a seemingly separate body is the illusion that that is death. That's the whole idea that A Course in Miracles is trying to get through to us, that life is only of heaven, and there is no life outside of heaven. And so all the animation that we do with our bodies, and we have this idea that some things live and some things die. You can watch a plant live and then a plant dies. It's all a fabrication made up in the illusion of separation. Now, it's not asking us to give that up. It's asking us to gently make an exchange. Because if we deny this, if we try to deny the world we seem to live in, that won't work either. It's actually, as the Course explains to us in the text, the denial is actually making it real. It's an unhealthy use of denial to take that approach to the body and to life. It might be worth a little time to think once more about the value of this world. Perhaps you will concede there is no loss in letting go all thought of value here. The world you see is merciless indeed, unstable, cruel, unconcerned with you, quick to avenge, and pitiless with hate. It gives but to rescind, and takes away all things that you have cherished for a while. No lasting love is found, for, for none is here. It's not love that makes the world go round. This is the world of time, where all things end. So we preserve the body, we preserve our lives, we try to extend our lives as long as possible. We try to maintain what really is constantly changing and does not last. Scientists have told us that the universe itself is about 14 billion years old, and it has about 14 billion left to go. Right? So even the universe, or the Milky Way, the galaxy that we're in, it's all has a limited and finite amount of time. Nothing here lasts. Is it a loss to find a world instead where losing is impossible, where love endures forever, hate cannot exist, and vengeance has no meaning? Is it a loss to find all things you really want and know they have no ending, and they will remain exactly as you want them throughout time? Yet they will be exchanged at last for what we cannot speak of, for you go from there to where words fail entirely, into a silence where the language is unspoken and yet surely understood. So this is a state of mind, heaven. And the Course makes it very clear. God's will for us is perfect happiness. And in salvation, or the acceptance of the atonement principle, is the goal of A Course in Miracles. The result is a happy dream. So we could say forgiveness, a happy dream, the atonement principle, they're all the same thing. And that's the awakening process. And then we can, as we do that, as we forgive the world and we join in spirit and let the guidance come through, life becomes happy. And the guidance just keeps coming through. It's a combination of experiencing God's will for us, which is perfect peace and perfect happiness. And with it comes the guidance. So we get to stop clinging. We stop searching. We stop demanding. And that is heaven on earth. That's all the Course is asking of us. Paragraph 4. Communication, unambiguous and plain as day, remains unlimited for all eternity. So it's still talking about the, the kingdom of heaven. And God himself speaks to his Son as his Son speaks to him. That's perfect communication, which, by the way, is the goal of prayer. Prayer, at its best, is a communion between the Son and the Father. The Father loves his Son. The Father is defined by the Son, as is the Son who loves the Father. The Son is defined by the Father. You can't have one without the other. And it's a worldly way of describing the relationship that is really a relationship of perfect oneness. But words will never explain the experience that the Course is moving us toward. Their language between Father and Son has no words. You could say between God and his creations, us, has no words, for what they say cannot be symbolized. Their knowledge is direct and wholly shared and wholly one. How far away from this are you who stay bound to this world, and yet how near are you when you exchange it for the world you want? You've heard the idea of just releasing the chains. It's like the allegory of the cave, Plato's allegory of the cave, where The prisoners are just chained to the wall in a cave. There's light that comes through the cave, but all they can see, because they're chained to the wall, all they see are their shadows on the wall. And one prisoner manages to break free from the chains. And then he starts to walk out toward the light, and he looks outside the cave, and he's like, oh my gosh, there's a whole nother world out here. It's bright, it's beautiful. And he goes back in to tell everybody about it, but he sounds insane to them. And so they kill him. And so it, kind of a terrible ending to the to the story, but that's the whole idea, that the illusion seems so real to us that when it's even questioned, uh, people get pretty upset about it. So that's why we don't go around changing minds. That's why I enjoy just sitting here, being able to share from my heart. These words are for me as much as they are for you or anyone else. And and we just allow the change to come through. We must be truly inspired in all we do. It makes it safe and it makes it effective. Paragraph 6. Such, wait, okay, paragraph 5. Now is the last step certain. Now you stand an instant space away from timelessness. Here can you but look forward, never back, to see again the world you do not want. Here is the world that comes to take its place. As you unbind your mind from little things the world sets forth to keep you prisoner, value them not, and they will disappear. Esteem them, and they will seem real to you. So go shopping, buy the stuff, get the food you love, buy the things you think you need, all that. But we value them not. We don't put our value in it. That's the gentle exchange that it's talking about. We don't have to go penniless. We don't have to get rid of all of our stuff. Esteem them, desire them, make them real, and then you're chained. Okay, that is hell. So, and this now is the choice. This is the only real choice we have. Our only real choice is between heaven and hell. Paragraph 6. Such is the choice. What loss can be for you in choosing not to value nothingness? It's why we cling, and it's why we defend the world, and it's why we defend our personal ideals and thoughts. Because they're not real, they need defense. The kingdom of heaven and the thoughts of pure love need no defense. This world holds nothing that you really want, but what you choose instead, you want indeed. Heaven, let it be given you today. It waits but for your choosing it, to take the place of all the things you seek but do not truly want. Practice your willingness to make this change 10 minutes in the morning and at night, and once more in between. See, we practice 10 minutes in the morning, we practice 10 minutes a night. It's a small chunk of time being asked of us. Eventually, with practice, the will and the desire becomes as permanent and as constant as heaven itself. This is the holy instant coming through. This is the power of now that Eckhart Tolle spoke of. This is pure presence that the sages and saints speak to. It's attainable because it's it's our uh, it's attainable because it's our natural inheritance. It's our reality. It says, in your practice periods begin with this, or something like this. The perfection of the words is not required if you just get the idea. Beyond this world, there is a world I want. I choose to see that world instead of this, for here is nothing that I really want. So you can condense all those words into one idea, a moment. Maybe it's a situation where you find yourself clinging or getting upset at something, and then in that instant you can just say, wait, 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 this conflict is not what I want. I want something else. Unseen to the body's eyes, I want it, and when it comes through, I can feel it, and that will undo all conflict. Say this little prayer, and then close your eyes upon the world you see. And in the silent darkness, watch the lights that are not of this world light one by one until where one begins and another ends loses all meaning as they blend in one. Today the lights of heaven bend to you and shine upon your eyelids as you rest beyond the world of darkness. No matter what time of day it is here, no matter how much light is coming through your eyes here in the world of form, it's not the light of heaven. So it's metaphorical. And we can even use the little glimmerings and shimmerings of light, a rainbow. If you really stop for a moment, let a little silence, a little stillness come in, you'll always see a symbol of heaven. There's always a glimmer that just comes through. It's a reminder of the one light we share. Here is light your eyes can not behold. Okay, speaking to the light of heaven, your eyes can't behold heaven, and yet your mind can see it plainly and can understand. The day of grace is given you today, and we give thanks. This day we realize that what you feared to lose was only loss. I got to read that sentence again. This day, a day of grace is given you today, and we give thanks. This day we realize that what you feared to lose was only loss. So we realize that 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 loss is the thing we fear losing. Am I really afraid of loss? That's what the Course is telling us to look at. Ah, there is no loss in heaven. I have to let go of my fear of attachment to the idea of loss. Quite a sentence. In paragraph 9. Now do we understand there is no loss, for we have seen its opposite at last, and we are grateful that the choice is made. Remember your decision hourly and take a moment to confirm your choice by laying, excuse me, remember your decision hourly and take a moment to confirm your choice by laying by whatever thoughts you have and dwelling briefly only upon this. So beautiful. The world I see holds nothing that I want. Beyond this world, there is a world I want. Yeah, in closing here, just take a moment and let your eyes light on the various things in the room, outside. It takes us all the way back to lesson number 1. Nothing I see means anything. And I've given all the things I see all the meaning that they have for me. See what a loop we're in? I get up in the morning, or I'm born into this life here. I look around. I believe it's my reality. I begin to cling for things. I start to manipulate the people and places and things to get what I want. And I just get more and more unhappy, downright depressed. And as I As I go through life, I start to gain a little wisdom and I start to realize, wait a minute, this isn't working. Maybe it takes a midlife crisis. The world I see holds nothing that I want. Beyond this world, there is a world I want. And I'm reminded of a few lines from my good friend Gene. Maybe I've shared them with you in the past. He had a formula for this. Participate willingly, don't make it real, and above all, don't be afraid of it. So we walk through life. See, this is the idea of a gentle exchange. I don't have to fight it. I participate moment by moment willingly in whatever shows up, but I don't make it real. And therein lies the exchange. I just participate. I don't have to make this real. I don't have to let it affect me. Okay, if it does, I watch that and gently give that up too. See, perfection not required. And above all, let me try not to be afraid of it. That goes deep. All right, that's enough for now. Thank you so much for allowing me to share with the one mind that we truly are. It's beautiful. Thank you. Namaste.